Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. Well, earlier today we were soaring past 23,000. I think 23,600 was the maximum I saw it before I went fishing. It might have gone higher than that. I'm not really sure. But now we're back at 22,800, still higher than yesterday, but we dropped back 800 points. Why is that? Part of it is probably just we went up too fast and then there's a bit of a retrace as people take profits, of course. But I do think part of it is because the Genesis hearing actually started. And I think people are a little bit unsure of grayscale. And also, Genesis has claimed $5.1 billion in liabilities, which is a lot, because that actually means they owe $5.1 billion, and they probably don't have many assets. They obviously blame FTX's implosion as well as Terra Luna for these things. So there is actually a reason for a pullback that the hearing just started today. And I think if things get too bad, people are afraid that grayscale Bitcoin is going to have to be unwound. And that could be an uncontrolled explosion. Now, they would have to basically try to contain it. I don't think that's actually going to happen because they're separate entities. And I don't think DCG can actually dip into grayscale's funds. I think everything else on DCG can go bankrupt though. And obviously, DCG got caught up both in Terra Luna and FTX, and that's why they lost so much money. But the $5.1 billion figure, I think, has some people scared. And they're wondering if it'll have any knock-on effects on Grayscale's fund. Genesis also lost a lot of money in 3AC. They had $2.4 billion in outstanding loans to 3AC, which completely died. And then DCG obviously assumed a lot of the exposure, and that's how DCG became indebted $1.2 million. Obviously, the collapse of UST triggered all of this. But basically, yeah, people are just really uncertain what's going to happen to Grayscale. Grayscale owns a lot of Bitcoin, and if those Bitcoin have to be liquidated, it would be very, very hard to control a stable Bitcoin price through all of it. And so that's why people are actually pulling back right now. Now, I do expect this to be slowly resolved over the coming weeks, and I don't expect it to have too much more negative pressure on crypto unless there is some big fallout from Grayscale funds, which I don't expect. But the big numbers that Genesis is putting out, how they're actually in trouble, how little money they have, and the fact that they are connected to Grayscale funds, which holds a lot of Bitcoin, is what actually I think has people scared right now. They're kind of on edge. But I think as the weekend goes on, and as next week comes up, if the earnings reports favor the NASDAQ, then I think all this will actually be forgotten. So I don't expect this to last too long, but I do believe this is why Bitcoin is retracing a little bit. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.